Morning, welcome to my channel. It's Si Carter, and I'm just doing a very short video today, just an introduction to myself and what my channel and videos etc. are all about. Someone did say to me the other day, a friend of mine, that it was probably a good idea just to do a short video, just introducing yourself, Si, to the people that are watching your videos. Just let them know what you're doing, what your experiences have been. And just a little bit generally about yourself. So I haven't actually done a video really. I'm just literally all new to this, and I'm kind of like picking up on bits and pieces and stuff as I go along. I absolutely love putting stuff out there that I've experienced about, or bits and pieces, gadgets, etc. Bikes, and just trying to help people in general decide whether they want to buy a product or whether because let's face it, there's a massive amount of information out there, but sometimes it's quite hard to get to find certain bits of information as well. So basically about me, I am actually at the grand age of 53 now, believe it or not. I know I look younger, there you go, just joking. So yeah, 53 now. I have been cycling like lots of other thousands of people out there for a long time, and I've been lucky enough through, maybe you could call it a short time of cycling, because I have actually only been seriously involved in cycling, club and racing for roughly about 15 years now, seriously. I've been racing for quite a few years, and I'm starting to take a little bit more of a back seat in racing now because of obviously age, etc., one thing or another, work commitments and all sorts of reasons really. But as I said, I've been involved in cycling for, as some people might say, for a short period of time. For me, it feels like a lot longer than I've been doing it for, that I've been involved in cycling on one thing or another. So I'll quickly basically run through my experiences, etc. Yeah, I just basically started from cycling to work really. That's how it all become. That's where it started from, buying some bikes, cycling to work, and then through that came obviously I knew people at the time through that were cycling in clubs, etc. And one of my really good close friends got me involved in a club, and from there that's where literally everything just sort of exploded from, because it kind of like it was really quick, where I sort of kind of like started to gain a bit of knowledge, experience, a few miles under my belt, and I literally then saw the other side of the cycling, the more serious side of it. And I was talking to obviously a lot of people, and I was looking at maybe possibly getting involved in racing, and I had some help to basically go out and start entering a few races. And that's where it kind of like kicked off really, because obviously being involved in racing, obviously they're involved in that is a lot of training, a lot of knowledge, and it gets more expensive because then you're buying more accessories, etc., to be able to race. You're learning very quickly then, and my knowledge of my mechanical background kind of grew from that. YouTube is a massive help to everybody out there. If you want to know something, how to fix something, how to upgrade something, whatever, whether it's mechanical, clothing, training, everything, even bike fitting, you can get so much knowledge out there. So I say to all my friends and that, just look, go on YouTube, find it. Let's be honest, you can build a house off YouTube these days. You can dismantle a car engine, can repair car engines off YouTube. You've only got to look at people like Matt Armstrong, there's so many people out there that have done exactly the same and just started from, just from nothing really and worked their way up. So yeah, if you want to know anything, then you've got to go on YouTube and you've got to research it. So with the racing and that, going back to the racing, I kind of got really seriously into racing, and I was really training hard. I like lots of other people out there, have to work. I have to go out and earn the money to be able to pay my bills, and this is like a lot of people out there that there's the majority of us. We have to have jobs to be able to pay for our hobbies and activities that we do, and cycling is expensive, and it can be really expensive depending on how you let it get hold of you and what you're doing. If you're serious about cycling, serious about getting fit, serious about riding, doing all sorts of things, events, then it's going to cost you a bit of money, and it's going to cost you a bit of time and research and a lot of training, etc., for these events to be able to do them. Yes, you can do some events, we all know, we see the people on the events that we go to, and they're, how shall I put it, not as fit as, as the next person, but fair play to them, that everyone's got to start somewhere, and, it doesn't matter who you are or what, where you come from, what background. If you want to do something, you can achieve it. You can achieve it. You've just got to have the mental ability to be able to do it. And yes, it takes sometimes a little bit of money to be able to do it. But you can achieve it. And if someone like myself has come from nothing to get into where I am today, I've won some races. I've competed in a lot of races. I'm now touching, sort of like dabbling in the gravel side of racing at the moment, or timed events, and just gravel events. So I'm kind of like taking a bit of a back seat from the race, from the crit road race background. It suffered massively over the last few years now with numbers, etc. And we've seen massive numbers of clubs and races and events being cancelled and disappearing because of the numbers. COVID certainly did have a lot to do with it, but there are a lot of factors now that are taking that are how can I put it, had an effect of why we can't get numbers in amateur racing. But it's coming back, I think, gradually. And yeah, I'm not going to say never. I'm not going to say I'll never go back to road crit racing, because I may do. The fact is that the problems that I have is at my age, for starters. Secondly, I'm trying to rebuild my house, and I have been for a few years now. I have huge work commitments. My work takes a massive part of my life out, massive big chunks of time of my life out. So that plays a huge part in being able to not train as much as I would like to. So anyway, yeah, racing, events, etc. Mechanical knowledge, that's come from learning stuff off other people, as well as I said, YouTube, and bikes, buying different bikes, getting involved in different bikes, and being lucky enough to be able to afford buy bikes and buy new modern bikes and get involved in all the technology, because it's changing massively now, so quickly now. The technology in the bikes, it's come on such a long way from even when I started riding, sort of like way back. Being on a 23 mil tyre, rim braked, aluminium bike, racing that, to where we are now with carbon and the ETAP, electric gears, etc. And obviously the wheel sets, tubeless, etc. So yeah, just touching base on me. That's a little bit about me. I've been lucky enough to meet some lovely people. I've been lucky enough to do well in a lot of the races that I've done, that I've been involved in. I've met some some great people in the clubs and that I've raced at. I've been lucky enough to have help and advice off the clubs that I've ridden in, and I've had a brilliant coach over the last few years as well. There's a lot of stuff that I've learned, and I probably would never have been, well, I know for a fact I would never have been able to do without help of these people behind the scenes of my particular life, and etc. So, you know, it would be lovely to say thank you to these people, but obviously this is my channel, and I obviously wouldn't want to mention people's names because I don't know whether that would be okay to them. You know, that we live in a world now where some people don't particularly want their names, etc., shared, etc. So there's that side of it as well. So anyway, moving away from that, going back to me, obviously, you know, so everything that I do and everything I'm going to be doing on my channel isn't necessarily pointing to you guys to say this is what you've got to do, because what I do is what I do. You know, I'm just here to try and help people, just share it. Well, I'm here just to share a bit of knowledge really with you guys, and to enjoy sharing knowledge with you guys at the same time, as well as helping you guys and share, you know, to enjoy and share your knowledge with your friends, etc. So it's nice to have some comments. As I said, it's nice to have people say, you know, we have bad feedback as well as good feedback. So, you know, negative feedback is kind of okay. It's fine. Negative feedback is fine. If you've got someone telling you that if you're a business and you've got someone telling you your business is not doing so well because of this reason, then that's a great thing, because you can then go away and, you know, work on that and create a better business and improve your customer relations, you know. So I'm all for so for example, I'm all for people saying to me, you know, well, that's not right, Si, you shouldn't say that, or, you know, that's not necessarily true, because, or I don't think that's right, that doesn't work for me, etc., etc. As you know, it goes on. So anyway, what I do and what I share with you guys out there is just to help you make up your mind whether you want to buy a product, use a product, or whether you want to go to a place, do an event, etc., etc. I'm doing many events still, despite that I'm coming away from crit racing. I think for me, the opportunity that I've had to be able to bring an indoor bike into my house and go onto Zwift and still race online, that for me has been a kind of a game changer, because I haven't had to put so much time, energy and money into racing outside of that window, because traveling to these events, races, etc., also is another big huge part of people's time. Because of my age and etc. and job and etc., as I've just explained, racing here in my own property on Zwift has helped me be able to keep my training up, my experience up, you know, fitness, etc. And I enjoy it probably a little bit more, because there's not the dangers of being knocked off by other people, or yourself making a mistake and maybe knocking other people off, because, you know, we all know how things can go terribly wrong when you're in a crit or road race, or you're at an event or etc., if one person or the other gets things wrong and you end up, which actually only just happened to me a little while ago at the Dirty Reaver in Northumberland, and some really sort of like few crashes, etc. Unfortunately, I got tangled up in one and ended up coming off, etc. And thankfully, I walked away from it without no broken bones. But as we all know, we know how things can go wrong when you're out in the real world. So Zwift has been great, and will continue to use my indoor bike on Zwift, and continue to do my training and as much training as possible as I can indoors. We're in that part of the year now, time of the year rather, where it's getting nicer out there. I actually went out this morning on a new Specialized Crux that I've just purchased for work commuting and just basically throwing about the place really. So I was out in that for 15-20 miles this morning because I've got a day off work. So, and I'll probably go on Zwift again later on just to top up my bit of fitness training miles, etc., and just have a enjoy Zwift, enjoy my riding. So yeah, that is it about me. As I said, I'm going to do a few videos on bits and pieces that I've acquired, and they won't be the best videos that you will watch, and they certainly probably won't be the best worded videos or explanations of how I've experienced things, because I'm an amateur at this. This is not my forte, talking on camera to people and putting things out there. So I'm learning as I go along massively about all this kind of this kind of thing that I'm doing on my channel. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm sure I will learn a lot off you guys, and I'm hoping you'll be able to take a little bit of information away from some of my videos and make your minds up to what you want to do, whatever I'm talking about on that particular video. So I'm going to do a short video actually very soon on the Specialized Crux that I've just recently purchased. I took it out today, done a short video on that. That has just been an absolutely lovely bike. That deserves a really good review, and I think Specialized have definitely come out with a really good product there, especially the fact you can buy an aluminium version, and it's the lightest version of an aluminium bike out there, as they claim, 9.37 kg. I think I weighed mine this morning was something like 10 and a half, nearly 11 kg, but that's with all my bits on, pads, lights, obviously bottles, bit of feed in the bag, oh yeah, my saddlebag, etc., stuff like that, Garmin, a couple of lights, as I said. So that's not a bad weight really, to be fair. I was quite pleased with when I weighed that this morning. So yeah, anyway, that is a bit about me. I'm not going to bore you to death too much longer. That is just a very brief video about me. I've got enough experience, I believe I've got enough experience under my belt to be able to try and help people and just create some enjoyable videos really. I do waffle on a lot and probably don't say the right things sometimes, probably could word a lot of stuff a little bit better, but I'm learning off you, and thanks very much for watching my videos, and thanks very much for all your comments, and I'm going to look forward to doing some more videos in the future. Okay, and with that I will say bye for now. See you later.